Alright, hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, I want to do something pretty unique. I want to go hunting for vintage watches. I think one of the most fun aspects of watch collecting is that hunt and searching for new watches, and that's exactly what I want to do here today. So my plan is to go to some vintage stores, some antique stores, and just see what we can find. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So a bit of a different style of video for you guys here today, and I hope you very much enjoy it. I was traveling through Florida and thought, why not go look for some cool vintage watches? It's one of my favorite aspects of the watch collecting hobby, as I said a moment ago. And yeah, this is how I landed on Gannon's Antiques and Art, a really cool place. They were super kind. They let me record without any issue. And yeah, they have tons of cool stuff, as you can see here, really anything antique and art related, some camera stuff, and of course the watches, which we'll get to in just a second. So this is a new style of video for the channel, so I hope you enjoy it, and I figured I would just basically walk you through each of the coolest watches that I saw, starting here with the TAG Heuer 200-meter professional diver. I don't know if everyone loves this design, that sort of retro look with the two-tone, but it was in great shape for $500. I thought that was a steal. This Omega from, I think, the 40s or 50s also just looked spectacular. This was $1,200, definitely a little out of my price range for the watches I was considering to buy, but really, really cool looking and definitely unique. And I think vintage Omega is really just a great spot to be in if you're looking for really any type of vintage watch. Saw this really cool Citizen blacked out PVD sort of ProMaster diver. It was really cool and automatic. I think that was a pretty reasonable price as well. This Longines here was really my favorite watch of the day, possibly. It was 350 bucks, 10 karat gold filled, and has a really cool square case, as you can see, small seconds. I thought that was a really good deal. You also see a lot of these just sort of vintage pieces that are really no-name models. This Longines here looks great, but it's not really a particular model, so some people may be bothered by that. But that's different than this Longines here, which is of course an Ultra Chron, which is really cool to see because they actually just remade this watch. So yeah, definitely a fun piece there. And just a ton of options to look at here. It's really fun when you have a lot to look at. There's a really cool Movado Kingmatic, really underrated line of watches in the vintage space. But yeah, I really enjoy vintage watch collecting and shopping because it's just cool to look at new stuff and stuff that you've never seen before, with this cool Hamilton on screen as well. That was a solid gold case. This is interesting. This is a Chopard. They were charging a lot for this. It was a GMT, not really my taste, but pretty interesting to see. Again, watches you've never seen before. That's always kind of fun. Baume & Mercier, another one, a very underrated brand, not really talked about too much. This one claimed to have a solid 18 karat gold case. There was also an assortment of pocket watches. I have never been a pocket watch guy, but they're definitely cool to look at. There were some recognizable brands up there as well, which is always cool to see. Let me know in the comment section down below if you are a pocket watch collector. But yeah, just kind of moving the camera along here. A Citizen Eco Drive tank. I mean, there are some random things. Not every watch is going to be super mega desirable. But again, that's kind of part of the fun in my opinion. It's the hunt and just constantly looking for different unique pieces. Another Hamilton here, which was a 14 karat gold solid case with a Explorer style dial, if you want to call it that, with the 3, 6, 9, well, the 12 as well there, which the Explorer does not have. But yeah, pretty cool. Also, we have some other interesting brands as well that don't come up too often. A Maurice Lacroix. There was a Bulgari. I've never seen anything like that. There's a Tissot. Not exactly sure what that is, but definitely 70s, 80s looking watch there. And your classic Movado sort of museum watch as well there. Just kind of moving the camera along. This was really interesting. This was a Longines that I don't want to say it's fake, but I've never seen that massive logo like that and that unique design. More Longines watches here. I loved this square model here. It was a little out of my price range as well. But yeah, some really cool Longines. A mystery dial there. There was a Hamilton. You know, so again, in my opinion, the fun of vintage watch collecting and shopping is just looking around. Another watch here, a Bulgari that I have never seen before. I didn't even know they made a dive watch. I'm really more familiar with the Octo Finissimo, but I thought this was a really cool piece. I really like the design. I'm not a big fan of that rubber bracelet because you have to obviously find a new bracelet with that exact sizing if you need a replacement with that special lug width, but that was really cool. Some Omegas, a brand that I think is really probably the best to start with in the vintage space. There's just so much variety there. Honestly, you can't go wrong just searching up vintage Omega on eBay and starting your search there if you're in the market for something interesting and unique. So yeah, here's a Hamilton pocket watch. Again, I thought that was really beautiful. Not something I would really buy, but thought that was really cool. This was also pretty interesting. This was a Vulcan watch, obviously a ladies model. I thought it was very unique looking, skeleton sort of dial. So pretty interesting there. And I was very impressed by this other Movado museum style watch. I'm not the biggest fan of that style, but that was very much in the sort of modern trend of an integrated style bracelet. So that was pretty interesting because that didn't look very new. And then this also was pretty interesting. This was a brand called Paul Breguet. No relation to the Breguet that we all know, but I kind of did a Google search and did some research, and that's also a pretty interesting brand to learn about. So again, part of the process here, in my opinion, is learning about the hobby and finding new brands, which I find really interesting. And I would appreciate any feedback you have about this style of video. I do a lot of talking head style videos, discussions, and lists, which I really enjoy making, but I want to get out there into the world and kind of do some videos more like this. So any feedback you have about kind of how you want them formatted and what you'd like to see, I would appreciate anything you have to say about that in the comment section down below. Of course, I love vintage watch shopping. I'll do it with or without a camera, but thought it would be something interesting and something different for the channel today. I've always enjoyed going to pawn shops and swap meets and flea markets and various places looking for watches and really many things in life. I always enjoy that experience, and I'm very curious if you guys have any awesome experiences of your own to share of finding some awesome gems in the watch world in this sort of way of looking for watches. I think there's so many different opportunities to find great deals, and I'm very curious what you guys have to say. This time around, I did not end up with any new watches, but these are the ones I considered the most. This Longines here, this one as well. Those were a great price. There was also a Citizen here, but yeah, I mean, there was just a ton of great watches, and I really enjoyed my time shopping here. And yeah, let me know if this was a video that you liked, if there's something maybe you want to see from this style of video. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video, enjoyed looking at some different interesting pieces, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you very much.